I wasted 10 years trying to make everyone happy. Then I discovered the dark truth. The people you're trying to impress don't even think about you. Right now, you're probably living someone else's life. Your career, chosen to impress your parents. Your clothes, picked to fit in. Your opinions, carefully filtered so nobody gets upset. And here's the brutal part. It's killing you from the inside. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you made a decision without thinking, what will they think? You stayed in that toxic relationship because breaking up would look bad. You took that soul-crushing job because it has a fancy title. You're scrolling social media right now, comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. This isn't living, this is performing. And the worst part? The audience you're performing for doesn't even care. They're too busy performing for someone else. Stanford psychologist Thomas Jelovich proved this with the spotlight effect. We think everyone's watching us. Reality? People are 50% less aware of our actions than we believe. You're the main character in your story, but you're just an extra in theirs. So here's the uncomfortable truth that changed everything for me. You will never make anyone happy, ever. Make a bold decision, half will call you reckless. Play it safe, the other half will call you boring. Speak your truth, you're controversial. Stay quiet, you're fake. The game is rigged. The only winning move is to stop playing. But here's where it gets interesting. Japanese philosopher Ichiro Kashimi wrote something that sounds insane at first. All problems in life are interpersonal relationship problems. Think about it. Your anxiety, it's about what others think. Your depression, often rooted in feeling inadequate compared to others. Your stress, trying to meet expectations that aren't even yours. Alfred Adler, one of the founding fathers of psychology, discovered something revolutionary. We create our emotions to serve our goals. Wait, what? Here's an example. You want to start a business, but you're too scared to begin. Traditional psychology says you're scared, so you can't start. Adler flips it. You don't want to start, so you create fear as an excuse. Mind blown. Your emotions aren't happening to you. You're creating them to protect yourself from something scarier than failure, the possibility that you might actually succeed and have no more excuses. This is why people stay unhappy. Unhappiness is a strategy. Sounds crazy, right? But think about it. If you're unhappy, you get sympathy, you avoid responsibility, you don't have to take risks. Unhappiness becomes your comfort zone. The real question isn't, why am I unhappy? It's, what am I getting from being unhappy? For most people, the answer is approval. We've been trained since childhood in a reward and punishment system. Be good, get praised. Be bad, get punished. So we learn approval equals survival. But here's the trap. When you live for approval, you hand over the remote control of your life to everyone else. Your boss's mood determines your self-worth. Your ex's opinion defines your value. Random strangers on the internet can ruin your day with a single comment. You become a puppet, and everyone else holds the strings. And here's the insidious part. You start editing yourself in real time. Before you speak, you run a mental simulation. Will this make me look smart? Will this offend anyone? Will they still like me? You're not having conversations anymore. You're performing auditions. Psychologists call this self-monitoring, and studies show high self-monitors report 40% more anxiety and depression. Because you're not living one life, you're living dozens of hypothetical lives in other people's heads. The exhaustion you feel at the end of the day, that's not from working hard. That's from being someone you're not for 8 hours straight. And it gets worse. Seeking approval turns life into a zero-sum game. If someone else succeeds, you feel like you've lost. Their promotion is your failure. Their happiness is your inadequacy. You can't celebrate anyone's wins because you're too busy keeping score.
Let's continue with the solution. So what's the alternative? 3 shifts that separate people who thrive from people who just survive. Shift number 1, contribution over recognition. Happy people don't ask, do they appreciate me? They ask, am I being useful? There's a massive difference. Recognition is external and unpredictable. Contribution is internal and controllable. When you help someone without needing a thank you, you're free. When you create something because it matters to you, not because it'll get likes, you're free. Your value isn't determined by applause, it's determined by the positive impact you choose to make. Think about the best moment of your life. I guarantee it wasn't when you got the most likes or the loudest applause. It was probably a quiet moment when you helped someone, created something meaningful, or simply showed up as your authentic self. Research from the University of Pennsylvania found that people who focus on contribution report 23% higher life satisfaction than those chasing recognition. Because contribution is a practice you control, recognition is a lottery you don't. Here's the shift. Stop asking, what can I get from this? Start asking, what can I give to this? That one question changes everything. Shift number 2, self-acceptance over self-improvement. Here's a radical idea. You're already enough. Not you'll be enough when you lose 20 pounds or you'll be enough when you make 6 figures. You're enough right now, with all your flaws and failures. Self-improvement is great, but it should come from self-love, not self-hatred. Happy people celebrate others' success because it doesn't threaten their worth. They know someone else's win doesn't make them a loser. Listen carefully. You don't need to earn your worthiness. You're not a product that needs better features to deserve love. You're a human being, and that alone makes you inherently valuable. The irony? When you stop trying to prove your worth, you actually become more successful because you're no longer paralyzed by the fear of not being enough. You take risks, you try new things, you fail forward. Self-acceptance isn't giving up on growth, it's the foundation that makes real growth possible. You can't build a house on quicksand, and you can't build a life on self-hatred. Shift number 3, process over outcome. Stop living for the destination, the promotion, the relationship, the body. Because here's what happens. You achieve the goal, feel good for 48 hours, then immediately start chasing the next thing. Happiness isn't at the finish line, it's in the daily practice, the morning routine, the creative process, the small improvements. When you fall in love with the journey, you can't lose. Every day becomes a win. Now, let's talk about the title of this video. Live for yourself, not for others. This doesn't mean become selfish, it means become authentic. It means having the courage to be disliked. Because here's the truth, some people won't like you. And that's not just okay, it's necessary. If everyone likes you, you're not being real. You're being a mirror, reflecting back what people want to see. The most influential people in history were polarizing. They had haters because they stood for something. You can't stand for something without standing against something else. So the question isn't, how do I get everyone to like me? It's, who am I when nobody's watching? Here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, make one decision purely based on what you want. Not what looks good, not what's expected, what you actually want. Start small. Order the weird coffee. Wear the outfit that feels like you. Say no to plans you don't want to attend. Notice what happens. Notice the fear. Notice the guilt. And notice something else. The world doesn't end. In fact, something magical happens. You start attracting people who like the real you, not the performance. You'll have fewer friends but deeper connections, less approval but more respect, smaller circles but bigger impact. Because when you stop living for everyone else, you finally start living. And that's when life gets interesting.